someone's phoning me.
Oh, wow. Weird timing for that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's nothing important. Maybe do they want to talk about Berserk? Give them on the line?
It is my Christian grandma, so no. Probably not.
Yeah, the perfect arc.
Yeah.
Grandmas love him. See how guts. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Battles the church. People lose faith in his wake. Yeah.
I definitely had a grandmother that if she like understood what was going on would probably be kind of into Berserk, but I definitely had one that would never talk to me again seeing like anything from here.
Yeah, I think that grandma probably lives in Edmonton and is not this one. So
yeah, fair.
Like walked in on us watching Galaxy Quest and was like, "What are these demons you were seeing here? This alien here is no good at all. You
That's
need to turn
just Tim
that
Allen,
off."
Grandma.
Yeah, that's just Tim Allen. You know, the Santa Claus.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think much quarter for some of the creatures we're seeing here, but yeah.
And situations in general, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some bad stuff. Ben, do you have a grandmother or maybe your mother or something that you could show this to?
No. I mean, you know, like, my parents surprised me, though. They were all, like, the two things were they didn't want to watch The Wire because there was too much swearing, and they didn't want to watch House of Cards after what's-her-name got pushed in front of the train. It's too much.
Oh, I thought you were going to say after what's-his-name was a pedophile. Like, then it's like, yeah, that's pretty bad.
a few months later, I come home, and they're watching Game of Thrones, and my mom is literally like, skin him alive. Like, he deserves it. I'm like, what has happened here?
To be fair, he does deserve it. I don't even know what character it is, but they all kind of deserve the worst.
Yeah.
I actually hate that show. So, yeah, it just infuriates me.
So I don't know, like maybe, you know, another year or two, like, be like, Mom, got something.
It's like
She's gonna call you in
Japanese
the
Game
middle
of
of the night.
Thrones. Yeah. It's also dark fantasy, so similar waters. But
She's going to call you in the middle of the night and just say, please tell me Casca's okay.
I'll be like, she's fine. Like, if anything, she gets off easy.
Whoa, that's a pretty hot take. Nobody in this world really gets off. Actually, the people that die just like by being stabbed off like by a demon or something or eaten immediately, they get off pretty easy because they don't have to see how bad things get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those who die get off easy. All right. Let's pick it back up. What are we at? Pillar of Flame.
Pillar of Flame.
Conviction arc here. So this is where we get some more on
Farnese.
Yeah, some Farnese. God,
that's her. Lady Farnese.
Yeah. We got some of her backstory of like a flashback or something of her as a child waking up in the middle of the night looking out and just seeing a bunch of people being burned at stakes or whatever in her town square.
And the shadows dance when she moves the fire, and it's awesome or something. Like, I don't know.
She walks out and someone just like hands her a thing and she just a torch and she just hucks it on the pile.
Yeah.
This whole thing is like just so creepy. Like, because it's just her as a little girl and like these hands are holding her or handing her the torch. Ugh.
Yeah, it's kind of the feedback mechanism of zealotry or something. Like, they're just like, hey, you did a great job, little kid. You got a lot of faith. It's like, all right, I guess I'm good at this. And then you grow up to become the you know, leader of the Holy Iron Chain Knights, and that's how it goes. Just
well, she's like, it must have been the heat of the flames. I could feel a strange warmth in my underbelly. Like, just fucking rough. And then cut to her now in bed.
Yeah, just like staring at the fire and picturing somebody in it or whatever.
Dude, it's like her grabbing herself and touching herself, and then it cuts to like a corpse on fire, and then she finishes and says, "I'm not in the wrong."
in there.
It's like, I can't help the buttons life gave me, I guess. Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, this whole chapter is extremely weird. I'm sure there's going to be like a reason for it at some point. I hope there's some payoff to this whole like she gets super like turned on by people burning to death thing, but I don't think we see it yet in this whole arc, as far as I know. More just like some weird character development of how broken she is as a human more than
sure
anything.
like in the most vague terms, like fire becomes important and helps them, but that's
yeah. So just kind of, we probably should have just like finished off the last time with that one, because that's the last chapter of this whole volume and it's almost like a one-off.
Yeah, we hard cut after it.
Yeah. All right. So back into the real shit. The Black Swordsman on holy ground. Guts has finally made it. He's finally in the area. And I'm trying to remember how they kind of showcase it here.
He intervenes.
Oh yeah, he just kind of steps in.
Yeah. Like this kind of, I guess he's a Holy Iron Chain Knight, is just kind of whipping people and like has taken exception to one of the brothel mates, like Pepe, I don't know, is getting lashed pretty good out in the streets and is going to be taken away. And then he kind of challenges the crowd and it's like, see, you must be guilty because no one here is willing to defend you. And then Lusa says, sorry, I was late, and jumps right in. That's her game, is defending people. So she's willing to be arrested too and get hauled off, and then the whip goes back and Guts grabs it, which I was really impressed by him stepping in to do anything like that. He hasn't normally done that. But they're in his way, I guess, or something. Maybe he's getting a little soft and cares about people. I don't know.
It's just a grand entrance, you know?
It is a good entrance.
Catching the whip, it's all about the showmanship.
And then they set upon him, and he decides to just have some horses to show he means business.
That panel of the horse head just going.
Yeah, I kind of felt for these horses. It's just like, they don't know. They're just tools. But
those horses were super racist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, totally.
They were bad horses.
Oh, okay. I missed that beat, but I believe you. That makes sense. And I guess we saw that horse earlier that attacked Farnese, so we all know what horses are capable of.
Yeah. All horses are bad now.
We're pretty anti-horse here. After that.
They needed to establish that. So, yeah, he just chops up some horses. That doesn't quite dissuade them, though. It's the crowd starting to get restless and throwing a stone that freaks them out, and then they leave.
The uprising has kind of like, I guess, like he was enough of a backbone to start an uprising or a riot, essentially.
Yeah, there's a tinderbox forming or something, and he looks in the eyes of the crowd or whatever and gets spooked and leaves. So,
yeah, for sure. Also, he's just a scary dude, so like I'm sure they were ready to go.
I know, yeah. I kind of thought him chopping everything would have been enough incentive, but it's like, oh, okay, that we can handle. It's all these peasants that we're scared of, because that's a societal shift, not just one dude. Yeah.
Sure. I've definitely got. This was like an intriguing from here till the end kind of. There's a lot of back and forth of like showing Casca / Elaine just like dumbingly being moved around or whatever by different characters, or like just kind of out of reach, and Guts is like doing other stuff, and just get this weird picture of him just like cutting a million guys, just like yelling, "Casca, where are you?" Just killing everybody in the way. But it's not that grim yet. Just a little platoon, I guess, is what he goes through. But yes, he meets up with Lusa, and she hears him asking about a woman with a brand on her, which she saw earlier on Elaine, or who she knows as Elaine. So she kind of goes up and was like, yo, I know who this person is. Come with me. To which we get a cut to the worst character, I think, in this series, possibly. Is she the worst? She might be the worst. She's probably the one that angered me the most that isn't just a villain.
I think I've gradually, like, looking at it again and thinking on it more. I think I at least like the story of Nina and Lusa. I think it's got, like, fable-esque, like, qualities to it of just, like, the coward and the courageous one or something. Like, their weird night of trials. Sure. Like, sure. But yeah, she manages to fail so many times and at such weird times. Like, it's just like, oh, I'm in danger, actually. I should leave. I'm going to chicken out and betray all the people who helped me. It's like, again? Like, you just got saved. It's like, no, it's just what I do. Like, I'm a born coward. There was something about it this time that I was at least like, hey, you know, we can't always be a Lusa. Like, sometimes you're a chicken shit and you need these lessons of, like, how not to be or something. Like, don't betray your friends this
I guess so.
Often and greedily as Nina.
It's just frustrating because she's like, we're going to run away or whatever, and you're coming with me. It's like, Guts is right there. Fucking stop.
He's the like worst timing. Away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't get over. It's such a little thing, but like when Guts is talking to Lusa and he's like, where's Casca? And they're like, Casca? That's Elaine. And it's like, dude, you didn't, like, what do you mean that's Elaine? Like, you found her. Like, you just gave her a name.
Same incredulity I had of just like, where did this name come from? Like, they just kind of had a bucket of them. Like, yeah, there's not like a moment where they decide that's a good name for her. It just happened at some point.
Yeah, that's just Elaine. Yeah.
She just seems like an Elaine. I don't know.
I guess.
It's in her face.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Guts, like, running to get to her and them not like dragging it out. I honestly thought it was well paced. Like, it got to the point where I was like, you're frustrated a little bit because you just
I'm very frustrated.
But like, I don't think it went too long, you know? Like, it didn't get to the point where I was losing my mind.
Like, it doesn't take the whole arc, is what you mean.
Yeah.
I wasn't losing my mind with Nina exactly. It was just innocent, like, screw up or whatever. It was more like how long we stall on Puck flying off to, like, help out, like, to deliver the news or whatever. I was like, what are you doing? You have wings. Just go. Yeah. It's like takes them just a beat too long for Isidro and him to go like, oh, wait a minute. I'll go fly and tell everybody where you are. And it's just like, yes, finally. Like, there was a couple pages before that where I was like, what is Puck doing? Like, they're here just watching this. That was where I was freaking out. It was the first time I was frustrated with Puck. But, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. That gets even more frustrating when you realize that Nina's taking her because she's, like, the Black Witch to her cult people who want her. Then it's just like, Nina, you need to fucking die. Like, you're the worst. I fucking hate you so much.
Didn't she? I thought she got like, no, they get like accosted or whatever. Like, I think they're, yeah, but like, it's not like she was bringing Casca to them.
Well, she obviously was because she was going to them to run away with her.
No,
whether or not it was by mistake.
I don't think she was actually going to those people. That's not what I thought.
Then why is she going to the mountaintop where that place is?
I thought they were just going to like
run away
a place and then met those people. Because like there's a little exclamation point and then there's like the guy with the bird staff is on the hill.
Just like standing on the hill. Yeah.
And he's like, we have come to get you. She's like, you guys.
So were they?
And then they're like carrying them away. They had to carry them, both of them, off.
So they were already like adorning her with riches and stuff, right? Like, giving her gifts and stuff at this point, or is that later?
I think this is before. This is like when they first
were sending them in or whatever.
Okay,
The next time we see it, like they have the little. He's like, oh, there's the one possessing power, and then she's like in a chair and she's wearing like a crown of thorns or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just before we move like right past it, I was really thrown when someone casually I think it's Farnese, just says like, "Oh, all of Albion is going to be in jeopardy." And I was like, "What? That's the land we're in? Isn't that like Fable? What is this?" But I guess it's a very like broad like England term or something. It just kind of means
for just like our land or something,
like the fabled England or something. It's not really Peter Molyneux didn't come up with that, but I was really like, whoa, this is in the same universe as this, or like that cribbed from this too, like other video games. But I don't think it's fair to point at that. But yeah, that I just remember them always using like Midland and stuff to describe this like region. I never noticed the whole land has a term until this moment. So yeah.
Sure. I guess that makes sense because there's also isn't there like an Albion Online or whatever? Like there's a few terms in the gaming sphere that use Albion, I think, as well.
Okay. Yeah, I just had the one touchstone specifically.
I've never played any of them except Fable.
Oh yeah.
But I know they exist or whatever. Yeah. I didn't even recognize that she said that, but you're right. Mm-hmm. And that's when she kind of learns about the Black Swordsman being in this area again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm just like...
Seems like you had more.
I'm wondering if Serpico kind of is already side-eyeing her every time she talks about him. But that definitely kind of comes in. It's just like, he has a weird hold on her thoughts or something. I don't like it. So he's taking notes.
There's definitely a bunch of panels showing that when she's like uneasy or thinking, there's a few panels every time that he's just kind of like side-eyeing her or like there. So yeah, he just seems like pretty mindful dude. I guess if you're an assassin type, like a rogue or something, you probably just take in all the information you can about everybody at all times, because that's kind of your gambit, right? Mm-hmm. Plain people. So I guess that makes sense, but we don't really necessarily see that like do anything, except for he doesn't need to like explain any exposition. So he's just like in the know, like we are as readers, because he's also kind of reading the situation, I guess is the idea.
Yeah, he's observant, I guess, and is always there making...
That's a cool little detail, how like he's always kind of watching her in the pages where she's like having a revelation or some thoughts or whatever. All right, so we're back in the cave. As you said, Casca with her thorny crown, bunch of naked people everywhere. This arc has been really hard to read around other people.
Yeah,
this has been a bad one. Like Golden Age had a few parts. The Black Swordsman had the one part where the Duke or whatever is having his memories of his whore wife or whatever. Mm-hmm. But this has been just a lot of dongs and tits flying around and
yeah, I didn't really bring it up last time, but I found it kind of funny as it went on. Like, and my first read on Mozgus and his crew were just like, these guys are terrible. What assholes these guys. But then when it got to like the cult or whatever, I was like, okay, well, I'm not part of the church, but they would definitely think this is a huge problem. Like, this is heresy for sure. And like, oh yeah, we're just having this crazy goat orgy party. It's like, yeah, I gotta burn you at the stake. I can't be letting this happen. Like, that would totally be within their doctrine to do that. So,
and it's kind of funny because showing both sides of it, like, yeah, the Inquisition and stuff, they're fucking terrible and they're pieces of shit.
Yeah.
But are they really the bad guys when this is also happening?
Like, yeah, this is why the flood happened. Like, this is how bad it got in the Old Testament kind of stuff going on. So it was a bit like the old church brain was like, yeah, like every apostle would have an issue with this. There's no there's no wiggle room here with how crazy we're getting.
Book has a strict no body part soup rule. So
yeah, once you do the body part stew, it's it's game over.
Once the cave walls are undulating with flesh, then you've gone too far.
You've crossed most major religions' line. Like you're definitely in cult world or whatever. So yeah. I was so okay. Yeah, there's kind of the sacrifice happening. Who is it that intervenes? Like the Holy Iron Chain Knights show up on the scene first, right?
He throws some rocks at the dude that's about to do the raping.
Right.
He fucking destroys that dude's eye.
He does.
Yeah.
He's very good at throwing stones. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like his shtick.
Yeah.
And Puck finally makes the decision to go fetch help, which helped me just get back into the story instead of freaking out.
Totally. Yeah, that whole page actually is great. First of all, he calls them limp dick cultists, which is pretty good. Mm-hmm. But then the image of Puck going super speed and like the lips just like flapping back, showing the teeth, and like the eyes just showing how fast
like G-forces
Puck is flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good.
So good.
That's such a good panel. So yes, we have Isidro at this time just holding off a bunch of cultists trying to like climb up the rocks at him.
Oh my god. The panels of like, it's like, I don't know, a smaller, like a micronism of like the guts panels, right? But instead of people getting cut in half, it's like a dude getting his teeth destroyed and like another guy getting it to the forehead. And just like
falling off the thing they're climbing. Yeah. Yeah, it's good shit.
What prompts the cultists to kind of start fleeing though? Because I don't think they're like scared of Isidro. Is it the Chain Knights show up, or is it everybody starts transforming again and it's freaky?
Yeah, it's the freaky thing. Like the cave walls turn into faces and shit.
Okay. And
and they start getting like possessed
as the knights are like coming in. It's kind of a coalescence of everything.
Okay, just there was a beat where I was really like, this whole time I haven't been like clear what's up with this goat guy, but I think he's just a guy up to a point.
At first he's literally just a dude in half of a goat carcass.
Okay.
Yeah, so what was unclear is that earlier it was like some weird drug concoction that was causing the hallucinations when they were in there.
Yeah.
And like his member wasn't actually a snake. It was that dude was high as fuck. And,
okay.
Shit go bad.
Sure.
But then it goes bad here.
Because there's like a little dialogue from where it's like, oh man, the horns won't fit. And it's like, just leave that thing here. And then suddenly he gets like poked in from the darkness or whatever, and then becomes a real goat dude. Which was like, okay, so even way back with like the Count's wife and everything, that was just a weird freaky cult. That wasn't like actually a god or something, or like an inhuman or whatever.
It's like a weird bait and switch or something. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool because yes, you're right. I definitely thought that this was a demon already or apostle. Mm-hmm. But like, nah, it's just a dude.
Just a weird
or
dude.
Or was just a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So yeah, the demons come out and play, and the knights show up at the same time.
Oh,
so obviously you just know right away there's gonna be so much gore coming.
Man, it was like maybe the third guy that just had his face totally ripped by one of these. It's just like, just put your visor down. Like, what are you doing? You have helmets. Yeah. Like, stop giving them an opening. But it's like, no. People getting chomped in the face ripped off, bit on the nose, like whatever. It's just constantly happening.
Yeah.
The goat demon's true intro is so good.
It was a great page, yeah. Like just
stomping on the people, and that's when you realize like, oh shit,
things are different this time. Yeah.
A lot of good goat eye stuff. I was definitely thinking about the Capra demon from Dark Souls initially, but I really liked how this character moves. Like he's not awkwardly walking around with two swords or whatever. He is very agile, like a goat on rock walls and stuff, and kicking off things and stomping people. High agility, which was kind of cool,
and like a whole bunch of the like rearing its head back and just like slamming with it like a goat would. Like a lot of goat-like movement.
Horn kills makes more sense.
The horn kills is pretty good. Yep.
Yeah.
This thing is so cool. I really actually like the goatman quite a bit.
I do not like his snake part.
Yeah, it gets a bit much.
Highly cursed.
Yeah.
The panel where he's holding Casca and the snake is like winding around her, that's like cursed. But the side to that is like, I think it's my favorite sequence because we just see a black blur like bouncing down the rocks. And then it's like just literally a blur, like an indistinguishable blur except for like the hilt of Dragon Slayer. And then we get like the briefest little view of guts, and then it's literally just like a Tasmanian devil tornado. Like it's just him as the black fucking tornado, and people are just dying, and then you get the double page spread of him just standing there with his cape going and the sword out. That sequence is fucking incredible.
It's so good. It's like, first of all, the page you're talking about, the fact that like Casca is perfectly safe in the middle while there's just this viscera of shit going around her. Just like, oh my god, that's my boy. There he is. And yes, the ending off just a whole bunch of pages of nothing but lines and not even able to see what's going on, of just like a still image of him standing there like a knight in front of her or whatever. Is so fucking dope.
I love it.
Is this 2016 arc? Is it 2016 anime? Is it based on this arc?
I think it's the conviction arc. I don't know.
I want to see this part done.
Shitty CGI.
Well, I heard that anime is the worst out of all of the Berserk things.
Yeah, it's so rough.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch. I watched an episode of it.
Okay.
I don't know if it gets better, but like it's just really rough CGI. Like, not uncomfortable. It's just like it's shitty. It looks super low budget. And they had, from what I recall, maybe when we go back to it, like it won't seem as bad. It felt like they flashed back to like the rape at the eclipse, like way too much.
Yeah, we got to see that again.
We don't need to. Like I could see doing it once, but in a single episode, if you're doing it more than once, you've fucked up. Like,
I kind of
so
agree.
Unnecessary.
I feel it does get triggered as like a thing a few times, moment. But like, maybe once a volume or something. Like, something very similar is happening, and then it's like, oh no, I remember when this went real bad. So,
I feel like it was. See, that's the thing. It wasn't, from what I recall, it wasn't even like a moment. You know, like we get some of the stuff where like Guts sees a situation, and here he's just like going places, thinking about stuff, letting his mind wander.
Yep.
Like I don't know. Maybe it's.
Yeah, that wouldn't quite fit, like, burying the memory as best he can. Like, it takes extreme circumstances to trigger it. It does help him go berserk, though, so sometimes he needs it. But,
Yeah. And you can go berserk by writing into I have gone berserk at gmail.com.
Anyway. That's right. Better include it earlier than last time. But
I gotta sprinkle it out where it's where it fits.
Yeah. The fact that these two are on the same level again is just like, it does your heart good. Honestly, there's even the page after the double spread. I just looked it up again. It's just like two panels, and it's his face and her face. Kind of like looking at each other.
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah. Oh, it feels like you can breathe again. Because then now you're like, okay, the problem is so far taken care of. Now we just got to see Guts kill everything. So let's go.
Yeah.
Which he kind of doesn't. I don't know. It's kind of interesting how this goes really bad. This whole scene in this cave. First of all, Guts is like not liked by either side. He's the Black Swordsman to the knights, and he's meat. He's the sacrifice to the demons, so he is in a bad spot just being here at all. And like we get a good boss fight, I guess, with Goatman, and then he kind of dips, but like that I want there to be good Berserk video games because I want to play these parts. I think the Goatman fight would be great is what I'm getting at.
Dude, there's so much potential, and it's just fucking wasted apparently.
FromSoft just needs the IP, right? And then like they basically have 3 versions of this fucking game. Just put the story and characters in there and I'm set.
Yeah, a bunch of assets are already there. So
yeah,
if empiring like modsters want to try to do it, but that would be its own janky thing.
You're right.
Is this yeah, sorry.
I wanted to talk about how you were correct about the Capra Demon thing. I do like how I kind of thought maybe it would start moving like that, and it is totally just like bouncing around everywhere, jumps on the fucking fire. At some point.
No, I enjoyed how fleet-footed and sure like these jumps and moves were. It was kind of like, oh, neat. That makes more sense for a Billy Goat type thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
But is this the first time he uses the word pseudo to describe something? I was kind of intrigued by it, like because I was like, oh, that thing's a full tilt in human to my eyes, but he's like, oh no, this thing's a mini boss, like you can tell or whatever. Like this thing is not a
because
full tilt.
I can kill this thing. Yeah,
because it didn't go through like the
God Hand transformation.
Like, well, it didn't. It didn't make a sacrifice. It just got fucking poked.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Weird. I guess so. That makes me really confused later with other characters, but we'll get to them, I guess.
It's kind of more infected with demonic power or something than it is really a demon, I guess. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we get like a single tiny panel at some point. It's like a little stinger tentacle thing
of him being poked. Yeah.
Yeah.
We get to see one of the new toys that Guts got.
When did he get these? Like the bombs?
He got these from Rickard.
Oh, okay. Like his recent Godo visit included these things, but I guess the cool throwing weapons is Rickard's thing. So, or no, that was Judo's thing. But
that was Judo's thing. But yeah, no. While he was like, I don't know, learning blacksmithing or stuff or whatever, he made little bombs.
Yeah.
The gunpowder.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like my friend Guts can use these. I'm sure I'll figure something out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have sticky bombs now, or he has sticky bombs that they look like little burrs or something, like little spike balls with.
Yeah, if you want to pop a tire in a James Bond movie or something, maybe. But
sure.
Yeah. But then they explode, so they're more powerful than that, and he uses them pretty successfully to really screw up this goat's eye and opens up
pretty
a
great
window of attack. So
also, it made me realize, when was the first instance of a property using a greatsword as a shield? Because Dark Souls, definitely you can block, like Guts blocks with his sword, with the greatswords. But was Berserk the first to be like, oh yeah, the sword is so big, you could just like stand behind it to use it as a shield as well?
How
early was giant swords, I guess, that are bigger than a man?
Has that always been a thing in Monster Hunter, like from the first one?
I mean, that's like 03 or something, though, right? So they probably were
03
borrowing from this too.
Yeah, that's because like we're getting to the point where like this is later. Like for this point in the manga, I forget.
Oh, he's done it before though.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, there's definitely some fire-related hiding behind it stuff that I was like, oh, cool. What a great idea. Like, just, that thing's really big, so why not?
I just wonder if that was, like, an idea that kind of stemmed from Berserk. I mean, not a lot of things use it, because not a lot of things have a sword that's bigger than the person wielding it.
Yeah.
But the things that do generally have, like, a mechanic or something where you can use it as a block, as a shield of some sort. So I wonder if that was started here. Anyways, whatever. Goatman's all fucked up. And that panel is pretty great if it's just like eyeball. Mirror with the eyes. He loves hanging eyes. He loves them so much. But that's not what kills him. What kills him is getting his fucking head chopped off.
Through the horns, too. It was just like,
through the
that's such a weird angle,
spinning.
but he just goes for that. He can do it, so chop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess this is the first time, too, he uses those mini bombs, because he's like, he thinks afterwards, explosives, eh? This will come in handy.
Yeah.
And then immediately starts spamming them a little bit. But yeah.
I've noticed a thing that I didn't notice going through this initially. Yeah. The dude fully reverts. Like, it's just the guy. It's just a human with the goat.
Yeah, his
mask.
Head is
I didn't notice
there
that
with
before.
the mask off of him. Yeah.
Register it.
Oh, okay.
Flying
It's kind of like when he
faster.
killed all the Rosine's little kids. They turn
Yeah,
back
yeah,
after
we've
they die.
seen it. Yeah, we've seen it before. I just didn't notice it here.
Sure, yeah.
I guess
Flying
that whole
to-
story has a similar, like, Rosine is a true inhuman, but then she's able to kind of toxic kids and turn them into minions or whatever. So this is kind of like that.
I wonder if because she's like a true inhuman or apostle or whatever you want to call it, that,
Sure.
That's why she can keep her faculties a little bit better, and why this guy, instead of being a dude, turned full goat and like was just kind of raging. Like, I wonder if there's anything there as well.
What tier of guy was the Count? Do you figure he was a apostle?
He was yeah.
apostle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just wondering if the regenerative abilities of him, like, it's like, haha, you have to destroy my head or I'll just keep growing back. Like, if that's true of pseudos also, or no. Like, they're just toasted.
Oh, no, I think they're just probably like... The way I kind of read it is that there's two dimensions, essentially, right? Like, there's the human realm and then kind of the dark realm or something like that, like the ethereal one. Mm-hmm. I think true apostles or whatever kind of move their corporeal form into that other one and kind of become that, where I think this is kind of more like, no, this is a human infected with a virus that when they die, the virus also dies or whatever.
Okay.
Sort of thing. Like possession more than them becoming something is what I kind of read it as. I don't know if we'll get more. I'm sure we'll get more context as to what's going on in later chapters, but
Okay.
that's my assumption for right now anyway. Which means, like, theoretically, you might be able to save people that have been infected and not, like, fully turned. And also, people that have fully turned might not be fully evil. Might be a thing as well, because they kind of, like, made a sacrifice and, like, got powers from it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're, like, crazy monsters, which we've seen with Rosine.
Sure, we've seen with Rosine, and then the Count wasn't able to sacrifice his daughter. Like, he still had that humanity or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, just kind of interesting. More interesting than just like, oh, he's evil now. Like, yeah, he's a demon, evil. Like, there is definitely a big tilt that way, because I think to become one of those, you have to give up your humanity, and they've said so much in the other arcs or whatever, but like, maybe that the whole idea is that it's not as easy to give up your humanity fully for some people. I don't know. I think there's some interesting ways they could go with it. But yes, this guy just seemed to be turned into a goat monster. There seemed to be nothing more special with him.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because he didn't have any agency in it.
Right. He just was like berserking. he has gone berserk at gmail.com. So yes, Guts leaves the cave at this point.
Yeah, Isidro was off escorting the ladies down the cliffside, I guess, was kind of his mission.
He found a back route out,
where the cult manages to escape if they're raided by the cops or whatever, I think is what that thing's for.
The back door.
But it's pretty precarious. It's like this cliff edge with like a single metal bolt in the wall. It's like, there you go, just hook up here and climb down. It's a bit daunting. But this is, I really respected Serpico for this move, even though it's a total like jerk play in a way. It's that shitty archer in Dark Souls 1 that's just like, hey, I can knock you off. But that's what you do if you don't have all the power in the world. Like he comes across Serpico, slipped away during all the chaos. Like Farnese was calling for him and he had disappeared, but not because he's a bad like right-hand man. He was one step ahead of everybody. And I
love that Guts shoots first.
Just starts throwing bombs and firing.
I have been waiting for you, Black Swordsman, and it's just Guts in the panel going like, and fires a fucking arrow at him, just straight faced,
and then throws some bombs over there for good measure, and then
he just goes right in. Yeah. It's so good.
It's pretty good. Yeah. This reminds me also, there is like, I can't remember if it's Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3. There's like an NPC that shows up while you're climbing a like tower in a castle or whatever, and it's this very thin staircase. I think his name is like Rogier or something, and he has a what the hell, like
rapier?
What the hell is yes, he has a rapier.
Okay.
And he, like, parries everything you do and like is really hard to like get a hold of, especially I do strength builds, so like I swing and he's already like shooting me with a bow or whatever. Just like I got very similar vibe of, I know how frustrating this is, Guts. I know. I've been here. You and me, we're the same. Yeah. Big vibes there. This whole part is super cool though, because Guts realizes why he attacked him here. It's because his good arm is the one that's against the wall that he can't use his sword with. There's not enough room for him to even swing it, even if he could like get it out and whatever. It's just every advantage is here for Serpico, and that's just super dope that this is all thought out, like the perfect place to attack him. I don't know. It's cool. I guess Serpico just didn't realize that Guts kind of doesn't care about living. he does, like, he'll just grab the blade of a sword. Because whatever.
Yeah.
And we get some of his motivation. Like, it says, you're a bit too distressing to Miss Farnese. Like, you will disappear.
He's loyal to her. Like through and through.
I guess, probably the moment that spurred that was she almost like put herself in harm's way, like being concerned with the Black Swordsman instead of the zombie that was going to eat her. Like that was right there. So he had to like rapier this thing through the head. Like, whoa, step back. What are you doing? It's like, the Black Swordsman, he's getting away. It's like, that's not even our mission right now. Like, what are you doing? So, he had to intervene in some way. And he sets himself up with every advantage and is also lying to him. Like, he's like, oh, we probably already have them. Like, he's trying to distress him mentally and keep him from drawing his sword and everything. But yes, he does do the blade grab and then punch and breaks his sword. And then I guess the play becomes, I got to get out of here because I no longer have a weapon. So he kind of does this cool swoop under, dodges the arrows and snitches some bombs whilst doing it. And makes his escape. But tremendous poise from this guy that he's able to manage that on a cliff side. But still bested.
Super cool. To the point where even though like I have to hate him because #Team Guts 100% never falter, keep it 100, lit fam, whatever, he you don't want this guy to die. Like, I don't want Serpico to die in some terrible way. I want him to just see the light and be like, this is a great tool in the Guts tool belt that we could have. Because he is the antithesis to what Guts is fast, but he's not like agile like this. He's not swooping around people and then like tricking them or whatever. He's just cutting them in half.
Yeah.
Which is its own skill set.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing he kind of points out. It's like fear on the battlefield is worse than an enemy kind of thing. Like if you all you do is like kill 10 guys with one swoop, and then everyone else is infected by fear, and they're no longer effective units on the battlefield. Like, if it's just a 1v1 thing, that can't happen kind of thing. Like, him with all the Holy Iron Chain Knights is actually worse to deal with him than what he's doing now.
Yeah, allies infected with fear are worse than enemies.
Yeah.
Is like what he says is like, that's such a dope line.
And then I guess you get some internal dialogue from Guts kind of appreciating the wiliness of this opponent. Like, he's like, this guy's actually worse than that crazy goat demon I just fought. And like, he's sly or whatever. Like, he's sly like a fox or something, I think he says. It's like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's impressed that he was able to pick his pocket and use a weapon that he's only ever seen used once in his life, like immediately, or just, yeah.
It's like Taskmaster or something. It's just instant.
Meanwhile, in that same like page or panel, we get Serpico kind of like hiding in the shadow of the cave mouth where he just came from, just like catching his breath, thinking, I'm getting way over my head. Like, what am I doing? I'm not usually this serious or whatever. Like, he has some internal judgment about his comportment lately. How far he's going for this, because he doesn't care about the cause, really. I guess we didn't really necessarily talk about that, and it hasn't been spelled out, but Serpico is kind of here for Farnese and not for some weird zealous justice that he believes in or anything like that.
Yeah, we do get some asides with Jerome and him kind of having their conversations. Yeah. Like, that'll spell that out a little more, their differing motivations.
Totally.
But before that, we get a great line from Puck where he says, "Big balls make for big falls." And I thought that was really good. That was
Yeah, that's a really good line. Also, big true.
Yeah. But like, it's just like, hey, Isidro, ease up on the heroism or whatever. We could fall off this cliff. But they do a decent job getting everybody down. It just doesn't quite work out. Thanks to Nina again, I guess, or Jawako.
I fucking hate her, man. Oh.
This time, though, there's meddling in the shadows. Like, it's our eyeballs mystery guy is kind of pulling people down corridors so things are discovered. Yeah. But Joachim sees Nina and freaks out because she tried to murder him and calls for help, and then they are set upon by more knights. Arrested.
The 2 pages, I guess it's right after Guts' fight, where it's just Isidro like looking down, and then he says that he's sorry, and Guts like grabs him and just like lets him go. Like, that shit hurts. Reading it, like, I don't know. It's another very good sequence. Like, she just wants to beat the shit out of this kid, but like, it's not the kid's fault.
Yeah. So Casca is gone again, taken by the knights. So this is kind of the moment where we're just like, so many nobles are about to get just fucking annihilated.
Dude, we get the torture shit where we learn that what's her name's a little baby bag bitch, like, for real. Single fingernail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, before we... I enjoyed the little torturer's moment, though, where they come to take someone off for torturing, and it's like, I don't care which one. You, I guess. And grabs Elaine, Casca, And then after half a second or whatever of internal like pondering with Nina, where it's just like, oh man, I should probably not be a bitch and I should say something. I mean, it's just Elaine. She's so innocent. But then I would get in trouble. Like, she just kind of freezes up. Then he stops and just like, no, wait, you're the worst. Like, I can't believe you just let your friend get taken off without a single word to the contrary. You're terrible. Yeah. It's like amazing.
I can't stand lowlifes who only think of themselves.
Yeah, I love that. Like, to this torturer, she is reprehensible. It's just like, oh, you're terrible.
You're a shitbag.
It's like, yeah, I hurt people, but you're terrible.
I at least have principles. Like, what are you doing? Yeah,
I'm doing it because it's my job. What's your excuse?
It's such a funny call out. Like, in the darkest dungeon in Earth, it's just like, no, even to our moral code, you're upsetting. So, yeah. And then she gets taken off and is trying to like psych herself up, but then the doors open and we get more like boob stretching and whatever's happening there. There's only the one more
planted on spikes,
raking
with
backs.
A rake down her back. Yeah.
And then weight on someone's foot to some ill end. I don't know if it's pulling them down on a spike or something.
It's such a narrow panel, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Like they're over something. There's like blood running.
Oh, that's the triangle thing, I think, right? That's like
that makes
somebody.
sense.
Earlier we saw that, yeah. So I'm assuming there's that morbid detail is what our attention is given to this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does not withstand torture very well at all. Like, there's some light kind of bruising around one finger. Again, impressing the torturers at how weak-willed she is. Like, it's just like, never seen that. That's like the easiest gig ever.
I've never seen anyone as miserable as you, he says.
Just betrayed all her friends and everyone in the world for one finger. Amazing.
Yeah. Last night bought with the blood of your friend. So fucked up.
God.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ben.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, not even a fingernail in, and just fucking gives it all.
My favorite part about all of this is that Casca puts the dude's like hat tip in her mouth.
Yeah.
And chomps on it.
Yeah, I have nibbling the hat, and he's kind of like, "Hey, cut it out. What are you doing?" So she is just so out of it that she's not really paying attention to that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. So yeah, Mozgus is here. So we know that shit's about to go bad, especially because he sees beneath like the edge of her blouse or whatever.
Him kind of setting upon that, and like his mega stare or whatever that he does, always disconcerting. Like, to turn the page and see Mozgus leering at anybody. But yeah, he zeroes in on it and freaks out a little bit.
And then weirdly, I think she gets like kind of a pretty tame punishment for being like marked as a witch, like an actual witch.
Mm-hmm.
She just gets put in the Iron Maiden and not like flayed or anything else or weird.
Iron Maiden's pretty bad though. There's a lot of spikes in there. It could,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, sure, it's pretty bad, but I don't know. Like, I think there's worse.
He says like investigate her in special detail. So yeah, like he makes it sound like it's an extra thing. I don't know, maybe.
Plus, all those other devices are already occupied, as we've seen.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, there's a vacancy.
Like at the gym. Like at the gym, there's like a towel over the rack or whatever. So you know that somebody's using
I'm just imagining like the torturer bringing in like a fresh person. They're like, "Oh, dude, can I squeeze in here between your sets?" Just
no can do, bro. Breaking wheels taken for the next hour.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm super setting right now. I got these two heretics back here.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I don't understand. Like, I understand after we read these panels what happened. I don't understand what happened, though, like, here. Because they close the door, and then there's, like, the gooey faces of demons going like at her or whatever. And then the Iron Maiden explodes. And I could not for the life of me understand what the fuck happened in these panels.
I have my kind of read on just like, perhaps it's like as soon as darkness envelops Casca, she is so potent, like with the sacrifice brand and all the death that's happened in this place. Like there's just, the veil is super thin to all these spirits or whatever, like the souls all around. So once they become in this realm or whatever, like they manifest in this physical space, they burst that thing because there's so
like
many.
Like a nuke or something. Oh, like Mentos in a pop bottle. Okay, I get it.
Like it's displacement or something. Like there's so much goop soul things in there that they just bust open that thing. I think that's my...
Okay, yeah. So you're reading it that they're from inside out. I wasn't sure if it was like them like tearing it open or like... Or
I think it's bursting out something? Because they were all in there kind of thing, and she drew them into this realm or something. That's they all spawned at the same place, and Spawn killed the Iron Maiden, I think.
So my take, and it's not, I'm not coming in with like extra info or anything. I think you can read it whichever way.
Yeah.
I'm taking it as like related to other, have we seen, I think we've seen other instances of like the baby, the fetus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And obviously we don't see it here. So like if it was actually the fetus, we would get that picture probably. But just the idea that like
she has like a protection on her.
Like the demons recognize like this person can't die, at least yet.
Too important to the causality kind of thing.
Yeah, so like as she's about to die, it's like that's what pulls the demons. But like the darkness is a good call because that's also a thing that like that's a fact that we've been told. So definitely could be a little column A, a little column B.
Can we have a conversation about how it's not causality if it's being pulled, the strings of fate are being pulled by forces that are...
Oh yeah, that's like the whole. That's like, the whole thing, right?
Causality. No, you have a bunch of demons in there that saved her. She would have died.
The supernatural forces are also in the pool, like the river of causality.
I mean, that was stupid. from moment zero when they're making Griffith make his choice, and it's literally just two demons in a trench coat.
Yeah, but that was funny at least. This is brazen. Also, this whole part, the thing that got me wasn't even, oh shit, she almost died. It's, they're gonna think she's a witch now.
Like she had like superpowers. Yeah. It's like she's wreathed by all these dark spirits or whatever and is apparently their friend.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way to disprove it.
Yeah, now I'm wondering if like the fetus kind of intervened earlier and sort of seem to communicate with the other ones. I wonder if the word spread that there is someone marked that's special or something, and that's why they defended her, you know? Because its energy seems to be spent, as we'll see later, but the word is out that this one's in good with the big guy or whatever. So,
with the Dark Lords
something
of some sort.
Yeah, the God Hand, so need to keep her safe. But yes, this is a dark miracle or something, or bad magic to Mozgus's eyes. So now she's got to burn. So yeah.
No, totally. Guts and crew show up here because of course they do.
Farnese is just. Oh, I guess they meet her. I'm jumping a bit. But like, because we get her shit like as all this stuff is popping off as well. Just like her deal, like this can't be real. This is not what it's all about.
Still, just can't like break the idea that maybe there's more to this world than like believing in a god and burning people who don't. That's all there is.
I find it kind of interesting that it's like this extremely religious character, but when they actually see real like supernatural stuff going
real
on.
Miracles.
It's like, oh no, this isn't right at all. Like, I prefer this as just some idea that I read, not like a physical thing that's here and it's gonna kill me or whatever. Like, like if confronted with demons, a certain religious sort will be like, what? That's so improper. This is just bullshit I do every week, not real. So I don't know. I thought it was fun, but yeah.
I love that all the demonic forces here are drawn like weird blobs.
Yeah,
it's almost like it's creepier, but it almost is kind of like Ghibli like.
It is
like they're just little blobby things
with like teeth.
If they weren't
distorted mouths and eyes.
If they weren't as fucked up, if they had like cute faces, like you don't even need to change the blobs that much.
Totally.
Less skeletons in them and stuff, and they just look like they're kind of weird knobby noses and stuff. It's just like, oh hey, it's my buddies in the shadows. They help me clean up the blacksmithing place or whatever. But it's like no, these are malicious ones. The slime from Ghostbusters 2 also came to mind for me. It's like, oh, this is the manifestation of all the evil that permeates this place or whatever. It's like, okay. Awesome.
Guts interrogating Farnese to tell him where Casca is and stuff and like get it out of her, and she's like fucking shocked, or I mean she's like traumatized by the demons again and like
of course
focused on that, and he punches the wall above her and he's like, sorry, but move your ass, I'm about to break.
break.
That's I was thinking the same.
Mira doesn't know this, but he quoted me when I was trying to walk through the streets of Barcelona behind a crowd of slow tourists.
And me anytime I was in the hallways at school.
Move your ass.
Nina gets saved by what's his name again? The dude.
Jerome?
No.
Or
Jerome, Why was I thinking Jared? Yes.
It's Jerry.
Jerome and the crew.
Fucking Jared. Jerome.
Yeah. And they're all together. She's a useless sack of shit, so nobody cares. But the important thing is the giant monster thing down the hall. That thing is great.
Yeah, like the big goop. The master goop.
Yeah, exactly. Coming towards them. And it just kind of, I love that it just stops there and goes back to Guts going down into
I guess because of their torches, chamber. Right? Like, thinking about it now, I think they have torches lit, so it couldn't have actually approached them. But
theoretically.
In the moment, it was definitely like, oh, dude, a big wall of darkness is coming to eat them, and then it kind of doesn't. So, okay.
Yeah. But now we're with Guts again in the torture chamber.
Picking up Puck is so good. The little hat, the little helmet scooching across, and he picks it up, and it's fucking chestnut Puck.
It's kind of the only important thing that happens down here right now.
Guts just saying, hey.
Yeah. My favorite thing is that every time he's like meeting up with somebody or introducing himself, he's just like, yo, or hey.
Yo.
It's my favorite.
It is real good.
Yeah. So Puck saw everything though, right? Because Puck was running a scouting mission first into the castle here.
So he's filling in.
That's why he was hiding from everything that was happening there. If I remember.
Farnese gets the first view of Puck also, because previously she was just like, why the fuck is Guts talking to himself? Like, what the hell?
But like, she doesn't notice him right away again.
No.
It's weird. Yeah.
And then he like plops into view, I guess. Just like poofs in front of her or whatever.
I guess that's like the representation for us that her mind is like expanding to realize she's gaining insight.
Yeah, her disbelief is faltering or something. Like, she's starting to tune in.
She picked up a madman's knowledge and popped it, so now she can see Guts and demon darkness, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. To put it in terms that everybody can understand.
And then shit gets real with Mozgus.
Yeah, so everybody is gone out of this area, and we kind of see that they've gone into his like inner sanctum where he had a discussion with Farnese before with the execution squad in tow, and they're kind of holding the doors closed. This is their final place or whatever that they're going to, their final stand essentially against the darkness thing. The giant nose darkness stuff is adorable in the wrong way that I like, think.
Yeah, it's a little bit cute. It has a big old nose.
Yeah, but this is where we see something kind of come down from the rafters. We get this weird, it looks almost like a spider or an inverted squid.
Yeah,
coming down.
Yeah, like a squid, like one of those, super long squid things.
And we see some eyes that we've been seeing.
The eggy eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were gonna go farther, but it's actually
I think that's a good stopping
on
point.
The dot, and
actually.
that's the end of the volume. That's the end of volume 19. So.
Yeah, volume 19 had a lot of shit in it, so. It's
also just, I mean, I'm still just terrible at like, I want to talk about every panel because every panel is cool.
Yeah, some of them are just talking though, so like when there's a lot of just conversation between characters, it's pretty easy to just kind of give a brief overview of what's happening, so that's fine. But yes, a lot of weird cool shit that, again, it's just one of those things that you should be maybe reading along or something, because it would be a shame to only experience this through us talking like third hand about it and not like you seeing it yourself.
Mm-hmm. I guess Serpico and Jerome's sort of conversations must have already happened at this point, because we're into the Night of Terrors, right? Like at some point they must have been on their own talking over lunch or something about his past and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it actually might have been over lunch. I think you're right.
Okay.
Like, at the cafeteria or something.
I thought we had, is it when they're like leaning against the thing outside?
Yeah, they're leaning against a wall outside. I guess they'd established the Lady Farnese's like past with the burnings and everything, and then Serpico says like, oh yeah, same thing happened to me. Like, I had to see my family die that way, too. And Jerome's kind of shaken a bit, because he's really glib about the faith and everything. He doesn't really care. He doesn't like being bossed around. Yeah.
So that's... I believe that's at the... Yeah, that's... I mean, I'm not looking at the full conversation, but they're leaning against the wall, and that's, like, right before where we picked up this episode. Because Lady Farnese is like burning the shit out of people, and she's like watching while sweating, and Scorpio is like, I gotta bail. Like he does.
Yeah, he's kind of
people burn at the stake,
sneaking out sometimes to. So Jerome reads that as kind of, oh, he's shirking on his duties too. He's kind of not really invested, but that's like, oh no, it's just way too real for me or something. Like it's more So you get a little difference like in their characters. Jerome steps up and does okay here. Like he's not as good a fighter as anybody that we're talking about, like the main guys, but he's present for people. He's trying to help. But I guess he's
a good guy. Yeah.
Just
my thought was it's going to be a shame when this guy dies. I'm going to miss him. But, like, he seems to be okay for a bit. So.
And then Azan had a couple cool moments, too, where he was stepping up, bashing some zombies with his club and everything. But, yeah.
He's easily one of the best new additions from this arc. Yeah, without a doubt.
I'll spoil everything that happens, like, long-term in the series. Everybody fucking dies. It transitions from being about guts to the shitbag adventures of Nina and all the horrible things she does.
Nina and Joachim's marriage. I was really hoping that would be where we're going.
Yeah, but like she can't handle it and runs away, leaving him at the altar.
Of course,
naturally.
Wow,
that's why Mira died. He got cancer from writing such garbage.
Like there is no fight or flight. It's just flight, fight, flight all the time, regardless of circumstances.
Read Miura's mind and saw that he was gonna bring Nina back into the series as like a full main character, and he just like, no, it's not happening. Heart attack.
Yeah, God is a very big Berserk fan. I can't let you ruin. Sorry, my son. I can't let you ruin some dope ass shit.
I still think Nina's pretty funny, but we'll see more of her adventure next time.
She's it's there's something to be said about having a character to like hate in that specific kind of way. That's not like hating for sacrificing all of his friends or whatever.
Yeah, no, she's definitely memorable. Like it's just like you can almost just be like, hey, don't be a Nina or something. Just like, oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Being such a Nina right now.
You're being a real Nina right now.
Being a resting Nina face.
What would that even be? Like crazed eyes or something? She really...
Just crying.
Just
always crying. All right. Well, when we pick this up, we're gonna find out what that egg thing is, and I think we could probably finish next time. There's a lot of like visual stuff, but
there's a decent amount of battling, which isn't really, how do you talk about
it's hard
that
to talk
extensively?
about.
Yeah,
it's hard. Yeah, there's definitely some cool shit that happens, but it's a lot of fighting, and we're gonna find out the true form of Mozgus. So, yikes! Stay tuned for that. And remember to keep on berserking, baby.
That's right. We never said our names. But...
Okay.